A lot of people are saying that Charlie Kirk is being taken out of context. So let's talk about the context of this popular clip that's going all around and why it doesn't actually make his words any less abhorrent.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Okay, that sounds bad, but let's keep listening.
Well, that's the
you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
So Charlie is saying he doesn't want to think racist thoughts about the black pilot. That's not who he really is. It's DEI's fault, where black people are being rewarded with jobs that a more deserving white person would have gotten. That's what's racist. That policy is what's racist. And as this group of white men says, it's the reality that the left has created. That's actually making them more racist. But here's why this context doesn't actually make this statement any less racist. First of all, this isn't a normal thing that a normal person would think. Charlie's saying he can't help but question a black pilot's credentials. But ask yourself, if you saw a black pilot, would you think that? Probably not if you're not a racist. But more importantly, he's lying about this policy. DEI does not lower pilot standards. It aims to make sure that qualified diverse candidates are represented in industries that have structural barriers. All pilots, regardless of background, must meet the same verifiable experience. They take the same written, oral, and practical exams, and they have annual reevaluation. The misinformation that standards were lowered in order to let unqualified black people take the jobs of qualified white people, that is false, and it's been refuted. But ask yourself, who would circulate a lie like that, and why would they do it? The answer is white supremacy. See, a white supremacist doesn't go on a podcast and say, I'm a white supremacist and I hate black people. No, instead they insinuate that if black and brown people are being included, then the standards must be being lowered to include them. They'll say, they're not racist. This DEI policy is just unfair. But if black and brown people are not inferior to white people, because that's racism, then how could it be unfair to include them? They equate inclusion with lowering standards because they assume competence for white people and incompetence for black and brown people. Charlie chooses to frame inclusion policies as an attack on the white race, and he does this frequently.
DEI means in practice is the vehement hostile treatment of white straight men to no longer be in institutions and to be actively discriminated against.
Here's how I responded to that clip months ago. When you've always had the whole table to yourself, being asked to scoot over so others can join might feel like persecution, but it's not. It's justice. So the reason many of us call Kirk a white supremacist is that he lies about policies that help non-white groups, and he demonizes these groups, and he does it explicitly in defense of the future of the white race.
The Great Replacement strategy is a strategy to replace white rural America with something different. And they won't stop until you and your children and your children's children are eliminated. The American Democrat Party hates this country. They want to see it collapse. They love it when America becomes less white.
Let me say this very clearly. I do not care if America becomes less white. Just like I don't care if my pilot is white or my surgeon is white. And if you think that it's bad for there to be more black and brown people, and it's better for there to be more white people, and if your politics are driven by the desire to secure a future for the white race, that is white supremacy.